Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, this right here is really sad because right now we're in the midst of a government shutdown. And so, there's a lot of people who don't have money to cover their bills. And some people are living paycheck to paycheck, like I said. And so, this is really problematic. And so, really, what's sad about this is when you have people giving suggestions, give suggestions that are going to be helpful. Point people in a direction where it's really going to benefit. But don't tell people things, even by accident. Don't tell people things that just trigger them to be more angry. Because if they can't pay their car note, if they can't pay their rent, their mortgage, if they can't pay certain everyday living expenses, they don't want to hear somebody telling them to go do some chores. So a letter suggesting furloughed workers do chores to cover their rent was posted by accident. And so this is OPM says this, okay? So let's take a look at this article because this is not the type of thing that you want to be telling people when they're not able to pay their, bills and their livelihood depends on these jobs. And we know who has to do with the government shutdown, and it has to do with the border wall funding. And so during an unannounced visit to Iraq on December 26th, President Donald Trump told reporters that he was willing to continue with a partial government shutdown. Okay, so this is by a Michael Bryce Sadler, December 29th. So the agency that oversees the government civilian workforce is facing scrutiny after suggesting federal employees affected by the partial government shutdown barter with their landlord if they can't pay their rent payments. Advice that it later said was posted inadvertently, or in other words, by accident. On Thursday, the U.S. Office of Personnel Management tweeted sample letters, and then this was to help roughly 800,000 affected workers negotiate with creditors and mortgage companies as well. So one letter meant for employees to send to their landlords discussed a temporary reduction in rent payments and suggested the possibility of trading my services to perform maintenance, an example, painting, carpentry work, things like that, basically chore stuff for rent. So in exchange for the partial rent payments, that's cover it. And so I could not believe the OPM thing is real, or at least as bad as it sounded, but it is. So OPM, the feds are uh, sample letters here for sample letters you may use as a guide when working with your creditors during this furlough period or furlough. If you need legal advice, please consult with a personal attorney, OPM, government policy data, blah, blah, blah. So on CNN Saturday morning, Tony Reardon, president of the National Treasury Employees Union, called the suggestion about trading services for reduced rent laughable and unfortunate. I think it is disgusting, candidly, Reardon said on New Day. He added, it's wrong to treat human beings this way. So an estimated 350,000 workers are on furlough at home without pay because of an ongoing partial shutdown over Trump's demand for a $5 billion in funding for his proposed U.S.-Mexican border wall. So the rest are working without pay because of the essential nature of their jobs. So the partial shutdown entered its 8th day already, which is Saturday, today. So critics on social media were also quick to express their discontent with this letter as well. So, of course, would you like it if somebody told you, oh, you're going to work without pay, or you're going to just don't come back to work until we get the government shutdown issue resolved? So basically, you're out of a job, for a time and out of money, close to around the holiday time or after holidays. And after holidays, you really do need your money because you're trying to cover all your bills because you bought gifts for everybody. So that makes it really problematic. And so you are not in the best of financial shape. So you need those little jobs. Some people are working 1, 2, 3 jobs just to maintain a regular home life. And like I was saying, that there's a lot of issues with rents being high. And so now this government shutdown comes along. And so you have these issues. So this is Twitter, and I guess this is people talking back and forth. I can just imagine this is by a farce Maher. So I can just imagine this conversation. So let's see. It says here you're an accountant with the Park Service. Park Service employees are rugged and can do types of people. So let's have you rebuild this stairwell in lien of rent this month. Okay. So furlough workers are advised, this is by Chris Liu, to ask landlords about the possibility of trading, like a barter system, of course. Trading services for performance maintenance, e.g., an example, or, painting, carpentry work, in exchange for partial rent payments. So the U.S. government is the world's most powerful organization, and this is what it has been reduced to. This is what somebody said. Okay, so it's really sad. So that's just a few comments right there. So it's really sad that this kind of stuff has happened. So the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine shows OPM has offered similar advice to furloughed workers in the past, such as in 2015 when Barack Obama was president. As some pointed out in a Saturday's statement, OPM spokesman said that the document was posted inadvertently and that the language was from the 2013 government shutdown. And so the office regrets any unintended concern caused by legacy documentations. So I guess things that were from the past, the spokesman wrote. So OPM itself, acting as with limited resources during the furlough period, inadvertently posted a legacy document from 2013 shutdown in the past. So although most federal employees have yet to miss the paycheck, OPM recognizes that many employees are concerned about financial implications of continued lapse. So as such, OPM sought to provide a set of templates and information that could be used proactively by employees to address potential financial challenges in the event that Congress does not resolve the lapse in appropriations before the end of the next pay cycle. So since discovering the out-of-date documents, OPM updated the website to reflect current information. It regrets any unintended concern caused by legacy documentation. So critics also called OPM's tweet tone deaf for telling furloughed workers to consult with a personal attorney for legal advice. And so OPM believes that, with Jake Sherman tweeted, OPM believes that federal workers have personal attorneys. So OPM believes that federal workers have personal attorneys. So that was a statement, that was a question. So OPM feds, here are sample letters you may use as guides when working with your creditors during this furlough period. So now let me stop. Some of these are tweets of people that are angry and have a lot of concern, which is rightfully so. So what has happened is Donald Trump has gone into, there's a government shutdown, backtracking it, and he wants $5 billion in funding for a proposed U.S.-Mexican border wall. And so he's also threatened to close the southern border as well, is what I've heard. And so this may occur, possibly. And so there's big steam over all of this. And so some people are actually out of work right now, and they can't pay their car note, they can't pay their auto insurance, they can't pay their rent or their mortgage or whatever it is, or they can't do certain things. And so it puts them at a grave disadvantage. And so a lot of these people have been told, do piecework or do like little auditing chores and do a barter system or call their creditors to see if they can wait. Now, We know as normal people that if you are behind in payments with certain creditors and certain lenders and individuals, they don't want to hear nothing about no government shutdown. They know it. Some people may work with you, but that ain't going to be everybody. They're going to send those bills to you, and they're going to expect payment. They're going to want you to send them the money however way possible. They don't want to hear that you can't come up with the money. And so people have been in those type of situations. And so to tell people to go out and barter with landlords and to barter with creditors, when you know there's just some people that no matter what you do, they're not going to give you a pass, even if you have proof. You know, there's enough proof. You don't have to you know, uh, anybody living under a rock that doesn't read, doesn't know what's going on in the world, would think, oh, you know, what government shutdown? Most people should know that, yeah, there's a government shutdown, you know. So, I mean, it's all over the papers and whatnot. So, this is crazy. So, Trump says shutdown will last until Democrats agree to fund the border wall. And so, this is not very long, this video right here. So, I guess Trump is talking about what he's planning to do in terms of the Democrats. He kind of blames Democrats for the government shutdown because he's saying that they won't meet with him. I was hearing that, so I don't know how deep this gets, but it has affected. This is where I said that these politics, stuff that's happening, being written overnight at the strike of a pen, things, laws being put into effect that some may work for you and others may not. These type of things, that now the government shut down and it's over a border wall, and he's asking for $5 billion. And then I don't know if you guys heard about that they were going to send money over to foreign countries because of this caravan thing, and they don't even know if that money's going to get to those people. And it's really crazy. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening right now, but now it's affecting regular people here in the States that have jobs, and your livelihoods are hanging in the balance because of the stupid decision that they're making here in the White House that really they haven't come to an agreement with fully. And so we're waiting to see what's going to happen. And I'm going to add this a little bit in here. Some really tragic things have happened behind this whole issue. Some kids have died. The problem I have with that is if the kids, you know, they were saying that the kids were, you know, as soon as they got to the States, the kids got ill because they were thrown in detention centers and treated roughly. Let me tell you something. Those little baby bodies are not built to go through walking through terrain and nasty water and not eating days in and days out and surviving in the wooded area. Now, if you're mad as an adult and you want to put your body through a beating, have at it. But to put babies in a situation like that is, they're going to be dead, half dead by the time they get here, if they even make it. Or are they going to be sex trafficked and things like that? And so when they do put them in a place and they don't give them that much food and much whatever, and they just supply them with the bare minimum because that's all they can do at the point in time. And if their bodies have been beat up from all that walking and days on end not eating, and who knows what they've been going through in those little caravans, you don't think there are any rapists and pedophiles and people preying on children? And then I'm hearing that some of those children are accompanied without any parents. There is no caring for them. They're on their own. So I think somebody's not telling the truth here. And now we got this government shutdown, which is also affecting like regular citizens and stuff like that. And then people who maybe they have, you know, mixed feelings about all of this. But it's affecting regular people now. It's been affecting us. The rents are already high because of this government shutdown. Now you can't pay your high rent. You were just barely paying your high rent. Now you can't pay it at all. So what do you think about this? Like, comment, subscribe. You know, it's just sad that all of this is happening. It's sad. I really hate to see kids suffer like that. But I feel like it's adults who are aloof and they can't make decisions that are sound. and safe for a majority of individuals. And then some of the choices that people got out of their anger, they choose to do certain things in way of protest. Okay, that's you. But to put babies through that, don't put the babies through that. The babies' bodies are not built to, walk long distances and stuff. As a mother, I would think I would tough it out. I know there's been some really horrible conditions that people have been in, but you almost feel like this, at least we didn't risk, my baby could die, my baby could survive. We could tough this out, but my baby could die with me trying to travel days in and days out with no food and no water. What do you think about that? But anyway, this government shutdown is affecting regular people, their regular lives, with your high rent, and you can't pay it because they can't make sound decisions, and now everybody's paying for it. So anyway, I'm going to leave this video with this little snippet here.
We have the terrorists also coming in from the southern border. Because you know what? It was always the easiest. Now, we've made it very tough. But I won't put them on the spot. But I guarantee you, they would say, you don't have a wall. You're not going to have, the folks are saying, we're going to have a wall. We're going to have safety. We need safety for our country. Even from this standpoint, we have terrorists coming in through the southern border. We have the terrorists also coming in through the southern border. Because you know what? It was always the easiest. Now, we've made it very tough. But I won't put them on the spot. But I guarantee you, they would say, you don't have a wall. You're not going to have, the folks are saying, can we have some drones? Can we have technology? Technology is bells and whistles. You have to have a wall. You have to have protection. But we have, in addition to drugs, in addition to human trafficking, in addition to mass numbers of illegals who are coming in, many of whom are criminals. You saw that. 618 so far that we found. In some cases, very serious criminals. In some cases, murderers. You saw that yourselves. It was on your cameras for everybody to see. We need a wall. So when you say, how long is it going to take? When are they going to say that we need border security? When are the Democrats going to say? Don't forget, the Democrats all agreed that you need a wall until I wanted it. Once I wanted it, they didn't agree.
Well, there's a lot of angry people out there. A lot of angry people out there because of all of these situations that are going on, and it is affecting regular people here. I know somebody knows somebody that works for a government agency or a government place of business or work, and these people are now being affected where they can't even go to work, or they are furloughed and they have to take a lesser, they have to take, well, from what I'm hearing, no payment. They are not getting paid anything. So what do you think about this behind all of these issues here? And then they're being told that maybe they have to call their creditors, and what if somebody did that to you? You call your creditors, call your lenders, your mortgage lenders, and tell them to wait. You think they're going to do that? Tell them that you'll pay them later. Give them an IOU. Tell them to work with you. Tell them you'll clean up around their office, or you do something for them. Not everybody's that fortunate to have that kind of luxury, that they have creditors that are that empathetic or sympathetic enough, and lenders that will wait on you until you can get your income up so you can pay your bills and your rent. What do you think about that? That is enough to make people really enraged and upset, especially around the holidays when you need your money. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for listening.